Welcome to my channel. Imagine it's a quiet Sunday morning in Hawaii. The sun is just starting to rise, and you're finishing up breakfast only to look up and see the sky turn black with hundreds of enemy planes. This is the story of December 7, 1941, a day that started like any other, but ended by changing the map of the world forever. Down at the Pearl Harbor Naval Base, a young African-American man named Dorie Miller was just doing his job. He wasn't a combat soldier. He was a kitchen worker. He had just finished serving breakfast to the officers and was collecting laundry when, at 7:57 a.m., the sirens started screaming. He stepped outside and saw a nightmare. The sky was literally crawling with Japanese bombers. To understand why this happened, you have to look at oil. Back then, Japan was trying to take over parts of Asia to grab natural resources they didn't have at home. They had already moved into China, but the US wasn't happy about it. To pressure Japan to stop, the US cut off their oil supply. Since Japan got 80% of its oil from America, their military was suddenly on a countdown to a total shutdown. Japan faced a choice: give up and leave China or find oil somewhere else. They decided to seize oil fields in Indonesia. The problem? To get there, they had to go past the Philippines, which belonged to the US. Japan's leaders figured if they were going to have to fight the Americans anyway, they should strike first, and strike hard to knock out the US Navy before it could even start its engines. Japan sent a massive fleet across the ocean and told radio silence so no one would hear them coming. When they were about 370 kilometers off the coast of Hawaii, they launched over 350 planes. The Americans were caught completely off guard. The attack came in two brutal waves, lasting about 90 minutes. By the time it was over, 20 ships were damaged or sunk, and 300 planes were destroyed. In the middle of this chaos, Dorie Miller became a legend. When a torpedo hit his ship and the captain was wounded, Miller didn't hide. Even though he had never been trained to use a weapon, he grabbed a massive anti-aircraft machine gun and started firing back at the Japanese planes, reportedly shooting down several of them. For his bravery, he became the first African American to be awarded the Navy Cross, one of the highest honors in the military. Japan's surprise worked, but it backfired in the long run. The attack woke up a sleeping giant, and the very next day, the US officially entered World War II. The war dragged on for 4 grueling years. By 1945, Japan was exhausted and weak, but their leaders still refused to surrender. To end the war quickly and avoid a massive ground invasion, the US decided to use a terrifying new invention: the atomic bomb. On August 6, 1945, a bomb called Little Boy was dropped on Hiroshima, destroying 80% of the city in seconds. 3 days later, a second bomb called Fat Man was dropped on Nagasaki. Faced with total destruction, Japan finally surrendered. It remains the only time nuclear weapons have ever been used against people, marking the end of the bloodiest conflict in human history.